Well, happy Friday to everybody. Hope you are having a great week and ready for the weekend. We are at the last scheduled telecast of June the 26th, 1987. Game number 495 overall on the replay. It's Minnesota at Texas from Arlington Stadium. Symmetrical ballpark, so singles are 1 to 10 both sides, and home runs are 1 to 7 both sides. And the pitching matchup today, Frank Viola for the Twins and Bobby Witt for the Rangers. I am doing this off the microphone of the webcam versus my headphones just to try something different, see if it sounds any better or worse or whatever. Um, and we'll see how it goes. So I'll try not to turn my head too much because, it's directional. Twins come into game 34 and 37, and Texas comes in 29 and 39. We'll start out. Thank you, ID. I feel a lot better. I'll tell you what. There's some great medicine. I don't want to put a commercial out for it, but maybe the seventh inning stretch, I'll go downstairs and grab it. But it's some powerful stuff, and it definitely got my energy back because I'm telling you what, on Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. After I played the game here on Wednesday, I basically went to bed and I had a hard time getting out of bed. I had no energy whatsoever, but much better today. Still cough once in a while, but not too bad. Still got a little bit of stuff in my throat, in my nose. But, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm feeling, probably 80% better at least. So we have Bobby Witt, starting pitcher for the Texas Rangers. Yeah, well, all of us get older. The alternative is worse, as they say. Bobby Witt in the 87 season was 8-10 with a 4.91 ERA. How's the sound check, ID? Am I doing okay without the headphones, just using the mic on the webcam, or is the sound not coming through very good? I can't really tell. So hopefully the volume and everything is okay. I'll try to speak louder if I can. I don't know. But Bobby Witt, no issues. Good. Thank you. Somebody said one time with my headphones, there was a slight hissing in the background. I noticed that a little bit. If you turn the volume up, you could hear a little bit of hissing, but I don't know. If I listened to it on my cell phone, I could hear hissing. If I listened to it on my TV, I couldn't hear the hissing. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Anyway, Bobby Witt you saw his numbers on the real season. On the replay, he is 1-2 with a 4.93 ERA. Only had a few starts, 35 innings pitched, 33 hits, 31 walks, 34 strikeouts. He does have 10 wild pitch and a 6 balk, and he's got a terrible +9 hold, so it makes that a +5. And Stanley's a +3, so if you didn't have the +5 limit, it would be a +12. That's probably the worst combination I've ever seen, but fives, they cap it at 5. That's the worst you can do. And to throw it on top of that, the catcher Butera has a pass ball rating of 14. So Stanley has a pass ball rating of 17. So it's not very good defensively for Texas, to say the least. Interesting, Andrew. I don't know. Yeah, Strat-O-Matic codes. I'll tell you what. I don't think I'll ever buy another Strat-O-Matic computer game again unless they revamp everything and it's at least up to the scale of replay PC. Like you said, ID, one of the key words or key phrases they need to do is hyperlink. We want a hyperlink to be able to get the things, not have to search for them. All right. So Dan Gladden, left-handed hitter, or left fielder rather, for the Twins. Gladden's hitting 235 on the replay, 4 homers, 20 driven in. He hit 249 real world. Got our dice right here ready to go. And of course, before the first pitch, we have the ceremonial first sip, which has become tradition on the morning ball games. So that we are ready to go now. And I don't know, ID, if you were around or whatever hearing, but the past week and a half or so ago, I've had problems with this finger, and I think by watching YouTube videos, I think I've got a mild case of what they call trigger finger. So I'm kind of working with that, doing some exercises. It's just this one finger right here, the ring finger on the right hand. Everything else is fine on my right hand, just this one finger. And apparently, I don't know what it is, but they said there's exercises you can do. They even have splints, but I don't think I'm at that level yet to use a splint. But I think if I just do some exercises that they talk about on YouTube, I might be able to self-medicate that. All right, here is Dan Gladden. And we're underway. 3-11 for Gladden. He's going to ground it to third. Nice play there by Bouchel. One away. Now, the Strat computer is definitely helpful for this project because it has the missing play. It has the, I can keep track of the stats and everything like that. I don't have to worry about it manually. I can just input the game right as I'm playing. I'm typing it in on manual entry, and it's just rolling along and keeping my stats for me. It gives me the cumulative stats, so I can give those to you. So it is helpful. All right, here is Al Newman. Newman hitting 265 on the replay. No homers, 10 driven in. He hit 221 real world. Switch hitter batting left-handed. 410. Bobby Witt strikes him out. You get a lot of strikeouts and a lot of walks with Bobby Witt pitching. There's a strikeout, but the walk probably is coming very soon. Here's Kirby Puckett. Puckett hitting 321 on the replay. 10 homers, 37 driven in. He hit 332 real world. 6-9. And there's another strikeout for Bobby Witt, his second. 1-2-3 inning for Bobby Witt. Nice first inning for Bobby Witt. Nothing doing for the Twins. And now Frank Viola coming up for the Twins as their pitcher. We look at the numbers on Frank Viola. Real world. 1987 numbers for Frank Viola. And he was 17-10 with a 2.90 ERA in the real season. On the replay to this point, he is 7-4 with an ERA of 2.99. So he's almost right there with his ERA. Not getting quite the run support he probably wants. 123 innings, only 87 hits, 42 walks, 82 strikeouts. So obviously his win-loss record could be a little bit better if he had better run support. But, that happens to a lot of pitchers. He is a -3 on his hold. He's a -5, but Butera is a +2. So he's a -3 on his hold. Only a wild pitch of 1, a balk of 2, and Butera is a pass ball of 14. So here's the governor, Jerry Brown, switch hitter, batting right-handed. He's hitting 272 on the replay, 2 homers, 19 driven in. He at 271 real world. That's a 5-4, right-handed. He lines out to the shortstop, Newman, and that's one away. Don't forget tomorrow, of course, Fall Classic, the NBC game of the week, 1979. We'll be at Yankee Stadium for the Red Sox and the Yankees. I believe it's Dennis Eckersley and Tommy John, if I'm not mistaken. Or it might be somebody else. I have to figure it out. I don't remember. It might be Figueroa. Or it might be somebody I don't even know. I don't even remember. I haven't looked at it in a while to see who it was. But it'll be noon Eastern tomorrow, roughly, from Yankee Stadium, 1979. Fall Classic. All right, here's Scott Fletcher, 311 average, a homer, 37 driven in. He had 287 real world. 5-7, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop X. Newman is a 3-12 at short. 3-3. Let's get our defensive things here. All right, this is weird. I don't know what happened to my defensive sheets. I had them here a second ago. Don't know what happened to them. I got to be able to find these things. That's weird. I had them right here handy, and now I can't find them. That is totally weird. Really, really strange. Got the rule book right here, but I don't know what happened to my... I have to go back to my old school stuff until I can find these. don't know what happened to him. That is really strange. It's kind of spooky, actually, that something could disappear that quick. Doggone if I don't see it. So, oh, here they are. They were buried under a notebook. Never mind. I got them right here. They were buried under a notebook. So, let's see here. Let me get back to where I was looking at. I was looking at Newman's defensive 3E12 and rolled a 3, so that's not good. That is not good. 3 and a 3 is going to be a base hit. That's a 10. Newman's a 12. I don't think that's a problem. No, it's not, but it will be a base hit for Scott Fletcher. And thank you once again, ID, for these well-organized super advanced defensive sheets. Strat-O-Matic could learn a lesson from that. Oh, hello, Ollie. The Twins are 34 and 37, but they're down. I think they're in 4th place. The A's have a pretty big lead. The A's are overperforming. The Oakland A's are 11 games better than what they were in real world through this replay. I don't know what the deal is, if they're just getting good rolls or whether they underperformed in real life or whatever, but the A's are in danger of running away with this thing, even though we're only at the end of June. They got a pretty substantial lead going. Twins try to battle back and get at least to 2nd place. Right now they're fighting Kansas City for 3rd place. Good morning, Dan. Here's Ruben Sierra. Sierra hitting 276, 21 homers, 50 driven in. He hit 263 real world. I don't think Fletcher's not going to – he'll be held, but he won't go anywhere. I'm feeling better, Dan. Got more energy at least. 5'10", and that is a catcher. I'm also recording through the webcam microphone versus the headset, so I don't know if that makes any difference or not. Not recording, but streaming, what I meant to say. 5'10" is a catcher X. We're looking at Butera. He's not very good. 4E5. 4 to 9. This has pass ball or something written all over it. Let's see. 4 and 9 for a catcher is a P/P, so possible pass ball there. That is a 13, and he is an E5. That probably is not a problem. No, it's not. So we flip it over to P/P, and we're using the wild pitch rating of Viola to determine if a wild pitch has occurred. But Viola has very good control. Keep in mind that the pass ball rating on Butera is done based on all the pitching staff, but Viola is very good at preventing those. So unless we roll a 1, it will just be a pop out. And it's a pop out. So that prevents the wild pitch. JW, they are. If I can send it to you, or if ID feels up to it, he can send it to you. It's it's 4 PDF files. I think ID sent it to me in 1 PDF file, but I think I separated them into 4 PDF files. Don't remember off the top of my head, but they're very, very nice. I will say that. And if you do print them out, I would definitely print them out on cardstock, not regular paper. All right, here's Larry Parrish. He's hitting 266, 12 homers, 35 driven in. He is the designated hitter in this game. He hit 268 real world. Fletcher still at first. 6'5", and that's going to be a fly to center. ID, is your email still like idgesterlive@gmail.com or something? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what the email is. I could look it up, but I'd have to stop the game to do it, so. John, I roll the D20 as a havoc roll beforehand to see if a wild pitch or pass ball has occurred. Then I re-roll all 4 together so I can use the D20 on splits. But I just do it that way. It's less confusing for me. All right, so no score. as we head to the top of the second with, not Kirby Puckett. We're talking about Kent Hrbek. Hrbek, your batter. Kent Hrbek, 295 average on the replay, 18 homers, 54 driven in. He hit 285 real world. Witt, 2-7, and that is a double 1 to 11. 12 will be a single, though. So just a base hit for Hrbek, but first hit for the Twins. He's no threat to run. Here's Gary Gaetti, third baseman. Gaetti hitting 268, 15 homers, 61 driven in. He hit 257 in the real season. 3-7, and that's going to be a strikeout. That's the third strikeout for Bobby Witt. One away. And ID, I know you're not a fan of the game, but I am actually really enjoying History Maker Golf, and I'll be having the Pebble Beach third round coverage and fourth round coverage this weekend. Be playing that tournament, Pebble Beach, in History Maker Golf, and of course, Sunday Basic Sunday for Strat-O-Matic Basic 1962 season. Just picking opening day games so I can get every team on the channel at least once, playing in Basic for those that like the basic rules. Here's Roy Smalley hitting 280, 4 homers, 26 driven in. He at 275 real world. 1-8 for Smalley, and that's another strikeout for Bobby Witt. He's got 4 of them. Witt, in 143 innings pitched, struck out 160, but he also walked 140. So he was a walk and strikeout machine. So far, he's avoided the walks, but he's hitting the strikeouts. But that could change very quickly. Here's Tom Brunansky, the right fielder. He's hitting 269 on the replay. 11 homers, 33 driven in. He at 259 real world. Witt, 2-7 to Brunansky. Struck him out. He strikes out the side. And that does it in the second inning. Nothing doing for the Twins. We go to the bottom of the second, no score. And of course, we are getting close to the end of the month of June in this replay. Once I finish June 30th, I will do a separate video to update the stats, the standings, and everything else through the month of June before starting the month of July. Just to give everybody an idea where everybody's at in the replay and how they're doing, who's overperforming, who's underperforming, so forth. All right, here's Pete O'Brien, first baseman. Lefty-lefty matchup against Viola. 272 average, 13 homers, 33 driven in. He at 286 real world. 2-7, and that's going to be a strikeout. First strikeout for Viola. And that's 4 at-bats in a row with strikeouts. Speaking of strikeouts, here's Pete Incavilla. He can do them with the best of them. He struck out 168 times in 1987. On the replay, Incavilla hitting 267, 16 homers, 51 driven in. He at 271 real world. 1-9, and that's a ballpark blast here at Arlington Stadium. It's a 1-7, and that is a 7 right on the dot, and that is gone. Pete Incavilla, home run to get us started on the scoring. For Incavilla, home run number 17 on the replay. RBI number 52. Look at it again. A 1-9 is a ballpark blast. In fact, I said I would do this. I've been doing this recently. When home runs come up, I go close up. So 1-9 against left-handers is the ballpark blast. Ballpark Arlington, 1-7 for home runs. The D20 is a 7. Obviously, Incavilla has normal power both sides of the plate. So Pete Incavilla puts the Rangers on the board with his 17th home run of the season. And that'll bring up Mike Stanley, catcher. Stanley hitting 208 on the replay and just 48 at bats, 273 average real world. It's a 4-6, and that's going to be a 1-16 single. That's a 19, so he lines it to short for Newman. 2 down. Oh, cool, ML. I'm not sure if I should call you ML or something else, but yeah, I really enjoy History Maker Golf, I'm telling you. Maybe I'm still in the honeymoon phase on it, but I really enjoy And that's why I spent money on this game. It is a money game. You have to, if you buy those courses, if you want every course that's in the PGA season, you're going to spend some money. But I spent some money up front, and I'm good the rest of the way. I've got these courses for life. Don't have to buy them anymore. All I got to do, if I want next season, I'll buy the 2026 players, and that's usually like about $25 or so. But now I've got all the courses I want. I may occasionally have to buy a course, because the majors move around to different venues. So, PGA Championship, U.S. Open, and British Open all move around. So, and some of the courses, like the playoffs in the BMW Championship next to the last week of the season, Play doesn't have a course that mimics that, so I have to pick some other course. So. Oh, even the newer special edition, they still throw in the crappy Super Advanced. You would think they would upgrade that somehow. And I was watching an old video of an unboxing. I think it was, who was it? I think it was, I can't think of his name now. JD Sports Replay. I'm trying to, my mind is blank at the moment, but JW Replay, something like that. And he was unboxing the last year's Strat set, and he was bemoaning the fact that I've been bemoaning for ages. He was tired of getting Wrigley Field when he bought the parts, the game part box. It's like, come on, Strat, give us, it's 2026 now. You can certainly Photoshop some other stadium picture in there somewhere or another, So anyway, hello, Dr. D. Good to see you. All right, here is Odabe McDowell. McDowell, lefty on lefty matchup with Viola. I feel your pain, Dan. I don't use the things, but heck, if they gave me different stadiums, I might in fact start incorporating them in my replay as background. But I'm not going to use that background if the Cubs aren't playing at home. It's just ridiculous. Unless I'm doing a Cubs replay, that would be the only way I'd want to do it. But it would look pretty silly to play this game here, Minnesota and Texas, and have Wrigley Field as the backdrop. That would be stupid. So I don't know if there's a way they can make it where you could maybe there's some high-tech person out there that can figure out how to do the board and maybe have like where you could put inserts in, pop out the Wrigley Field and put in something else, use the same board, but just have inserts that I think Dynasty League does something similar to that, where you can, pop stuff in and out and put different things in there. So anyway, here's McDowell. He's hitting 209, 4 homers, 20 driven in. He had 241 real world. Lefty matchup, 311. That's a ballpark single check. 1 to 10. That's a 7. So McDowell, a 2-out single. He's a threat to run, even though despite the Viola -3, 4 or 6 gets him the lead. A 4 or a 6. Doesn't get the lead, it's a moot point. So here's the number 9 hitter, Steve Buechele, third baseman. 237 average on the replay, 7 homers, 30 driven in, and guess what? He hit 237 real world, so he's right on his mark. He's had 186 bats so far in the replay. He had 363 overall. So Buechele against Viola, 5'7". 5'7" is a ground ball shortstop X. We are looking at Al Newman. Newman is a 3E12. 3-11 should be fine, I would think. 3-11 is a G2. That's a 7, and he is an E12. It's short. There is no 7 there. For simplicity's sake, I'll just say he throws it to first. But the home run from Pete Incaviglia gives the Rangers a 1-0 lead after 2. When I did my Strat-O-Matic, good morning, Trenton. When I did my chat with Replay Gamer about if we were king and if we owed Strat-O-Matic, one of the things I brought up was that I would sell these things in a bundle, season bundle, where you could get, for X price, you could get every stadium, or you could buy them piecemeal if you wanted to do that, or sell the game parts. If you bought the season and the game parts, the game box parts and everything else, you could pick whatever season you wanted, whatever stadium you wanted in your box. Just something to give the fans a little something. But Strat is Strat, and if you're waiting for them to change, you're probably going to die waiting. All right, so we go to the top of the third, but Strat is Strat, which is why we still love it and why we still play it, because it's just that good. All right, here is Steve Lombardozzi. Lombardozzi hitting 244, 3 homers, 17 driven in. He hit 238 real world. To use ID Jester's analogy, we love this cup of coffee. So we don't like how our coffee shop treats us, but the coffee's so good, we come there anyway. All right, here is 5-7, and that's going to be a walk. The first walk issued by Witt, but it's probably not going to be the last. Lombardozzi could try to run because that +5 is awful tempting, so he needs a 4 to get the lead. Doesn't get it. He misses it by 1, so he'll hold. And here's Sal Butera. He's hitting 226 on the replay, a homer, 6 driven in. He hit 171 real world. Yeah, I've seen that, ML, but I only play the courses that are on the PGA Tour events, and those are all like made up courses or courses that the PGA Tour doesn't really use, at least that I'm aware of. Now, if they have some out there that are that way, then I would certainly look into it. Here's Butera, 3-7, and that's going. Oops, over here, 3-7 is going to be another strikeout. 6th strikeout for Bobby Witt. He struck out 6 of the 9 he has faced. Here's Dan Gladden. That's a 5-9, and that is another walk. So we're getting the walks again. Second walk issued. First and second, 1 out. And that takes us to Al Newman, the switch hitter. Shortstop. We get a 5-9, and that's going to be another strikeout for Bobby Witt, his 7th dot there. But, of course, he's not tired this early. So 2 away. Clutch situation now for Kirby Puckett in the clutch. He loses 3 hits in column 1. 1-2, 1-7, and 1-8 all go by the wayside. So he's a little anti-clutch there. We get a 4-8 instead, and it's another walk. So Witt has walked the bases loaded while striking out 2. That's typical Bobby Witt. That's what you get. You get the good with the bad. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Kent Herbeck. Clutch situation for Herbeck. In the clutch, he gains a hit on 112, and that's it. Everywhere else he is neutral. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Witt, 4-9. Ground ball to second, and that will end the inning. The Twins leave them loaded. And Bobby Witt escapes walking the bases loaded. So we go to the bottom of the third. And it'll be the top of the order, Jerry Brown, doing up for the Texas Rangers. ML, you're welcome to talk about Hitchmaker Golf all you like, because I love that game. 3-11. That's a ground ball to short. The only problem with not using my headset is I don't have a mute button for my cough. That's the only downside. So if a cough comes out, I can't stop it. Ground ball to short. 1 away. But hopefully the coffee now is down to a minimum. All right, here is Scott Fletcher. Fletcher, the shortstop, singled his first time up. 4-11, and that's going to be a fly ball left field X. Dan Gladden, a 2-E5. for Mr. Gladden. 2 and an 11 for an outfielder should be fine, you would think. 2 and 11 is an F2, and that is a 13, and he's an E5. There's a 14, but no 13, so good play for Gladden, and that's 2 away. 2 up, 2 down for Ruben Sierra. 3-6 for Sierra, and that's a ground ball to third. Gaetti right there ends the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the fourth, still 1-0. The home run from Incavi is holding up to this point. Bobby Witt back out. Facing Gaetti, Smalley, and Bernansky. 3-9 for Gaetti, and that is a fly ball to left field. Incavi puts it away. 1 down for Roy Smalley. 6-7, switch hitter batting left, and another walk. What do you know? The 4th walk issued by Bobby Witt to go with 7 strikeouts. Smalley, no threat to run, though. Rudnet Odor. Was that? I'm assuming that's in Strat, Dan, not in any other game. I'm assuming that's in Strat-O-Matic. Hello, RN. Good to see you. All right, so Bernansky. Nothing on the habit. 1-7. Another walk. 5th walk issued by Bobby Witt. Take the good with the bad when you come to Bobby Witt. You get the strikeouts, but you get the walks. Here is Lombardozzi. Speaking of walks, he walked his first time up. 1-8, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop A. It is going to be a Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play. And I'll do a close-up of the – when there's a Giovanni Tailor Shop double play, we need to do a close-up of that too. Steve Lombardozzi, the 1-8 against right-handers. Ground ball shortstop A. Right there. Ground ball shortstop A. It is a Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play. Giovanni's Tailor Shop in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. If you're in that area, be sure to stop by and see them. Tell them Demo sent you. They will give you a discount. They are the unofficial sponsor of the channel, but the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play of the game. And that certainly was tailor-made for Bobby Witt to get him out of a jam. Here's Larry Parrish. Whoops, hold on. Let's see. I might check that out, ML. One of the things I haven't gotten figured out yet is some of the strategies that are good to use. Like if you roll for in the pregame or in the 3rd round or whatever, and it says the golfer gains a quality. Well, which quality do I want to get? Do I want the bomber quality? Do I want the champion quality? Do I want sandy quality? I mean, what would be the best quality to gain? I don't know which one would be the most advantageous. Little things like that. And I noticed the first time I played, I think I was too easy to, if a golfer had a blue chip, to just take control of the hole. And maybe I should be saving that blue chip to make the putt easier at the end. I mean, there's different strategy things that I could, learn from the more I play it. So, but that's just going to come with time and learning. So, all right. So here is Larry Parrish. 5-9. That's another strikeout for Viola. Actually, it's only his 2nd strikeout. Parrish is out on strikes, and here comes Pete O'Brien. 3-4, and against lefties, that's a ballpark single check, 1-10, but that's an 18, so I'll keep the ground ball to first. And Herbeck will take it to the bag himself. Okay, what am I doing here? What's going on with my computer here? Something's off on my computer. Hold on. Let's see here. I didn't put the double play in, did I? Don't think think I put the double play in like I should have. All right, let me do that. I gave Lombardozzi a strikeout for Parrish instead of putting in the ground ball double play because I was getting into my spiel about the Giovanni's Tailor Shop. All right, now we got that. Now we got the strikeout on Parrish, and we got the ground ball to first from O'Brien. Now we're up to speed. 2 down, bases clear for Pete Incavilla. He homered his first time up for the only run of the game so far. 110, and he's going to strike out this time. He had the 1-9, got the home run last time. Would have done it again on a 1-9, but he missed it by 1. Missed it by that much, as Maxwell Smart would say. And he gets the strikeout instead. And so at the end of 4 innings, we're still in a 1-0 ball game. Texas and Minnesota was expecting more runs than this. Of course, there's still 5 innings left, so anything can happen. So here is Bobby Witt. He'll be facing Butera, Gladden, and Newman due up. That's a 3-7, and that's another strikeout for Witt. That will be his 8th strikeout. He's walked 5 and now struck out 8. Brings up Dan Gladden. 5-4, and it's a ground ball second base C, so easy play for Jerry Brown. 2 up and 2 down for Al Newman. Struck out twice as Newman. 3-10 for Newman. That's a fly to right field. 1-2-3 inning for Bobby Witt. We're just moseying, rolling right along here. Bottom of the 5th, still 1-0. And Frank Viola back on the mound will face Stanley, McDowell, and Buechele, bottom of the order. 3-4 for Stanley. He grounds it to Gaetti, and that's 1 away. 4, O-B McDowell. He singled his first time up, but was stranded at first base. 1-4, and that's a ground ball to first. Herbeck will take it to the bag himself very easily. 2 up, 2 down for Steve Buechele. That's a 3-5, and he's going to fly it to center. Puckett is there. 3 up, 3 down go the Rangers. And just like that, we're starting the 6th inning already. Still 1-0. Bobby Witt, this is his fatigue inning, number 6, so we'll keep a track of his fatigue. It'll be Puckett, Herbeck, and Gaetti, heart of the order. 2-8 for Puckett. He grounds it to short. Fletcher is there, 1 away. Witt, through all the walks and strikeouts, is limited the Twins to just 1 base hit. Kent Herbeck's single is the only hit of the game for them. Speaking of Herbeck, here he is. 5-7 lefty, ground ball second base X. We're looking at Brown. He's a 3E16. 3-14 should be fine. 3-14 is a G2. That's a 12, and he's an E16 at second base. There is no 12 there, so Jerry Brown makes the play. 2 down for Gary Gaetti. 6-9, and that is another strikeout for Witt. That'll be strikeout number 9, and he will keep full endurance into the 7th. I'm quite a ways from Giovanni's Tailor Shop. I'm probably about 5 hours away, I would say, if I had to guess. I think I did put it in Google Maps one time, but I know to Philadelphia is about at least 4.5 to 5 hours, depending on traffic. Depending on if I go 95 or 301 through the Baltimore, Washington area, but it's quite a ways, that's for sure. Maybe we can talk. Hello, Brown. Yep, feeling a little bit better today. Maybe we can talk. Who am I thinking of here? I'm lost track of. I was thinking Dave Gardner into having one of his digital dice cons at Giovanni's Tailor Shop. I don't know. Maybe. Probably not, though. All right. Roy Smalley will lead it off. I'm sorry, we're starting the bottom of the sixth. I got confused here. We're starting the bottom of the sixth. That means Jerry Brown will lead it off against Viola. Six, seven, switch hitter batting right-handed is a strikeout. So that's only the fourth for Viola. Strat computer, come on. Good thing it has the undo button. That's one great feature the Strat-O-Matic computer does have is the undo button, so I can fix what I messed up. All right, here's Scott Fletcher. 1-2 against the lefty, and that's a Lomax with injury. So possible that Fletcher will be injured. It's a game day injury only if it does occur. A 1-6, he stays in the game. 7 or higher, he's got to come out. And he stays in the game, so he fought it off. Stays in the game. 2 down for Ruben Sierra. 6-8, switch hitter batting right-handed. 6-8's a fly to right. And we move. All of a sudden, we're in the top of the 7th. Really motoring along here. The top of the 7th. Bobby Witt has full endurance as he went 1, 2, 3 in the 6th. So he's got full endurance going for him. Here's Roy Smalley, 6'4", switch hitter batting left, catcher X. And that's going to be Stanley, 4E6. 4-15. Nobody's on base, though, so don't have to worry about pass balls or anything like that. Let's see, 4-15 is going to be a foul out, most likely. That's unless he makes an error. That's an 11, and he is an E6 as a catcher. There's no 11 there, so it will be a foul out. Fouls it out to Butera. For out number 1. Brings up Brunansky. Brunansky, the batter. 6-3, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Fletcher, 3E26. 3-9. You think would be okay. 3-9 is a G3. 13, and he's an E26 at short. And that's a 12 there, not a 13. That's a 12, so no error. Fletcher makes the play. Had that been a 12, that would have been an error, but it wasn't. 13. 2 up, 2 down, and here comes Lombardozzi. Do they pinch hit for Lombardozzi is the question. But there's 2 outs, nobody on, so I think they're going to just let Lombardozzi hit. 3-9, and he gets a single to right field, so it's a good thing they let him hit. Now, they will pinch it for Butera because he's awful. So they will pinch hit for Butera. Laudner will be the new catcher, but we might have a different guy to pinch hit. So let's see who the Twins have available off the bench. They do have left-handed hitting Randy Bush. He's a pretty good pinch hitter. They also have switch hitter Gene Larkin. Those guys could come in there. Laudner will come in and catch, no question about that. They also have Greg Gagne and Mark Davidson on the bench. So I believe they will turn to Randy Bush off the bench. He will hit for Butera. And then Laudner will come in and catch in the bottom of the 7th. So we go to the Strat computer and bring in the aforementioned Randy Bush. and get his numbers on the replay. Bush on the real season hit 253 with 11 home runs. On the replay, Bush is hitting 246 with 2 home runs and 114 at bats. Lombardozzi, I don't believe is, he's not going to be held, not going anywhere. Here's Bush. 3-4 for Bush. It's a ballpark single check, 1 to 10. That's a 2 base hit. Only a 1 star, though. But now runners are at first and second with 2 outs. And the first big threat by the Twins since they loaded the bases in the third. Here's Dan Gladden. It's a clutch situation for Gladden. He loses hits on 3-3, 2-8, and I think that's it. 3-3 and 2-8. So Gladden. I'm debating about whether to record them or do them live. Pebble Beach doesn't have a first or second round because it was a set field of 80 golfers. There is no cut. So the only 2 rounds I have are round 3 and round 4. Thought about recording round 3 and uploading it for Saturday, and then recording the final round and put it on Sunday. I'm not home on Sundays, so if I wanted to do it live, I'd have to do it on Saturday night, which is not when they do the golfing usually. But I have to figure it out. I might do it. I might do this third round live tonight, and then do the fourth round live on Saturday night, just because I'm still early on. If I do it live, I can get feedback on what I might be making mistakes on. So I'm still up in the air about that, what I really want to do with that. All right, here's Dan Gladden in the clutch, like I said. Clutch situation. Witt to Gladden. We get a 4-8, and that is another walk for Bobby Witt. It's going to load the bases once again. The bases are reloaded. And we're getting a pinch hitter for Newman. Gene Larkin will pinch hit for Newman in a big spot with the bases loaded. And then Gagne will come in and play shortstop. So with the bases loaded, they gotta go for the gusto and get that better hitter in there. Newman on the season only hit 221. Larkin's a 266 hitter. So I think that should be a pretty clear choice about what to do. And then Gagne will take over at short. That's going to leave Mark Davidson as the only bench player remaining, as they've used 4 other guys. So Larkin, Davidson, a backup outfielder, is the only guy left that they can go to. Bobby Witt has reached fatigue according to the Strat computer. So we'll see what Bobby Valentine wants to do. Larkin is a switch hitter, so it doesn't matter if you're bringing lefty or righty, although following his Puckett. So let's look who they have in the bullpen. They have Dale Mahorsic, Jeff Russell from the right-hand side, and they have Paul Kilgus and the Wild Thing Mitch Williams from the left-hand side. So I think they're going to pull Bobby Witt and go with Dale Mahorsic. So Mahorsic is coming on to try to get Witt out of a mess. Witt can win it, but he can still lose it as well because he's responsible for all 3 of these runners. So let's see. You can't close the book on Witt yet because bases are loaded. Mahorsic does have a -5 hold, which makes him now a -2. So we'll get the numbers on Mahorsic on the replay. Fans in Texas Stadium Arlington Stadium give Bobby Witt a decent round of applause for his efforts. Mahorsic on the real season. On the real season for Mahorsic, he is 7-6 with a 2.99 ERA, and he also garnered 16 saves. On the replays, 4-2 with a 5.70 ERA and 4 saves. So his ERA is way up there. 36 innings pitched, 44 hits, but only 5 walks with 23 strikeouts. So we got new pitcher and new hitter. Who will prevail? So bases loaded, 2 outs, clutch situation for Gene Larkin. And he is anti-clutch here on 2-7 and 2-8 against right-handers. But we'll see what happens. Mahorsic to Larkin, bases loaded, top of the 7th of a 1-0 ball game. 4-7 switch hitter. That's a single 2 stars for Gene Larkin. He comes through in the big hit. A 2-run single gives the Twins a 2-1 lead. Gladden goes to third. So Mahorsic not able to get it done. In case you're curious to see what Bobby Witt would have had on his 4-7, he would have walked in a run. So not much better, I guess. But it's a 2-1 lead now for the Twins. And that brings up Kirby Puckett. Puckett with runners in the corners and 2 outs in the clutch. Again, Puckett not too good in the clutch. 1-7, 1-8, and 1-2 all loses hits. 2-8 for Puckett. He grounds to short to end the inning, but the damage was done there. The 2-run pinch hit single from Gene Larkin gives the Twins a 2-1 lead. We can close the book on Bobby Witt now. And I will be taking a short 7th inning stretch break to reheat my coffee. But before I do that, I got to get everything straight on the Strat computer because it's a mess. Got to bring in Tim Laudner to catch. He'll bat 9th. Greg Gagne will come in to play short, and he will bat 2nd. All right, so we have Gagne here, and we have Laudner here. And now we go to the box score and get the final results for Bobby Witt. And I think it's going to be a typical Bobby Witt game. 6 2/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, they were earned, 6 walks, and 9 strikeouts. That's pretty typical for Bobby Witt, I'd say. So I need to go heat my coffee, so it's a good excuse to break out the 7th inning stretch, which I haven't done in a while. So we will be doing that very shortly. Once I find where it is. I haven't played in a while. It's in my playlist way down here. So I got to go find it. And it's a while. I'm going way down my history and I still can't find it. It has been a minute since I've done this, apparently. Maybe I need to do it more often. I don't know. Where is it? Wow, it's going way back. Unless I just missed it somehow. It is going way, way back here. There we go. We finally found it. All right. So we will head to the 7th inning stretch with the score, Minnesota 2, Texas 1. And we'll be right back. All right, we are back and ready to go. Finish out this ball game. Coffee has been refreshed, which is very important. And also, not to give a commercial for anything, but this stuff here that I'm taking has worked wonders for me. This is the stuff I'm taking, and it has been dynamite. I felt so much better after I only took 2 doses. Took two tablets on Wednesday and 2 tablets yesterday, and I'm feeling so much better. It's not cheap. I think it was like, I don't know how much it was, like $12 or something at Walgreens, but it's not cheap. But it did the trick for me. So, like I said, not to give an advertisement per se for it, but that Mucinex Rapid Clear is really good. And the coffee is refreshed, which is really good also. Frank Viola given new life now. He's got some run support. He's got runs to work with. So now Laudner is catching, Gagney's at short, and we're ready to go for Larry Parrish here in the bottom of the 7th. It's a 110, and that's a strikeout. Parrish out on strikes, 5th strikeout for Viola. Maybe he's got new energy since the run support. This is his fatigue inning, so we'll keep an eye on that. Here's O'Brien. He's 0 for 2. Whoa, we got a hop and dice. We're going to re-roll that. All the dice have to all be in the tray and be flat. So we got a 1-8 for O'Brien. That's a ground ball to second. And easy play for Lombardozzi. 2 down. 2 away. And that brings up Incavilla. He has the home run for the only run of the game for Texas. 2-11. And he's going to fly it to center. I'm sorry, that's 1-11. 2-11. Boy, 2-10 would have been a home run, but 2-11 is a split, and a 17 is a line out to short. So Viola will keep full endurance into the 8th. And we head to the 8th with Minnesota holding a 2-1 lead over the Rangers. Mahorsic back out, and he'll be facing Herbeck, Gaetti, and Smalley. This Puckett made the last out last time. So let's put in Incavilla's line out to short so I can get up to speed. And now we're ready for the top of the 8th. Joe, like I said, I was day to day. I wasn't going to allow myself to go on the disabled list. I was day to day, but managed to get through it. All right. So here is Herbeck. Mahorsic to Herbeck. Whoops. 1-9 for Herbeck against a righty is a ground ball to second. Easy play for Brown. 1 away for Gary Gaetti. Whoa, 4-6. 1-9 is a single. That is a 9. So base hit for Gary Gaetti. I wonder if I can get a little closer to the cards. I mean, it seems like I've got, I don't want to lose anything, but I don't want to get too far away either. So it's a base hit. 2 outs or 1 out single by Gaetti. He's not really a threat to run, although he does have the asterisk. So you're tempted to try it. Man, I hate to run him out of the inning, though. No, they won't send him. But Rangers will hold him on, because if they don't hold him on, he gets the jump automatically. So here is Roy Smalley. 2-8 for Smalley, and that is a fly ball to right field. Hauled in by Sierra, 2 down. Come on, computer, you're messing me up here. Get this straight. That's a fly to right. All right, 2 outs, and at first base still is Gaetti for Tom Brunansky. Brunansky is 0 for 2 with a walk. One 8, and that's going to be another walk for Brunansky. So he's walked twice. And that's going to turn this into a clutch situation for Steve Lombardozzi. Can't pitch hit for him, though, because they have nobody left to play second base. But Lombardozzi is 1 for 2 on the day. It is a clutch. I dropped one of my D6s. It is a clutch. Oh, come on, chair. Got stuck on me. It is a clutch situation for Lombardozzi, and in the clutch against righties, he loses 2 hits, 3-5 and 3-9. 6-7, though, is going to be a strikeout from Mahorsic. There's a dot there, but he's not tired, so the strikeout is good, and that will end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 8th, still 2-1. Nip and tuck here in Texas. Viola comes back out with full endurance. Don't know if Texas wants to go to their bench at all. Stanley, 273, so he's a pretty good hitter. Not going to pinch hit for him. Could pinch hit for Buechele, perhaps. Stanley, 3-6, and he will draw a walk. And for Viola, I believe that's his first walk of the game. It certainly is. First walk of the game. Now, do they pinch run for Stanley? That's a possibility as well. They do have Bob Brower, who has really good speed, but he also be a decent pinch hitter. Wilkerson has decent speed. How they want to? They're going to use. I believe they're going to use Wilkerson to pinch run for Stanley. So Wilkerson will come in as a pinch runner for Stanley, and then they will use most likely Don Slott to catch. So Wilkerson is a pinch runner here in the 8th. Slott will catch in the 9th. Kurt Wilkerson. Got a little frog in my throat here. Kurt Wilkerson, the pinch runner, means he has to be held because there's an asterisk there. Boy, I'm just getting this stuff in my throat all of a sudden. Maybe I need more water or coffee or something. A little froggy in there. He'd be a 15, being held as a 13. Viola -3 be a 10. 50% chance, but you're down 2-1. You don't want to run yourself out of an inning. So they're just going to hope that his 15 run rating is going to help him score on base hits. They will not send him. Oddibe McDowell is your batter. Do they pinch hit for McDowell? They're going to leave McDowell in there. So Viola to McDowell. 2-2, and that is a split. 1-10 is a single. That's a 13. He lines it to second base, and that's 1 away. So let me bring in on the computer the pinch runner Wilkerson for Stanley. And then McDowell lines it to second. Now for Buechele, do they pinch it for Buechele? Buechele only hit 234 on the regular season, or 237 on the regular season. He's hitting 234 on the replay. They do have Bob Brower available. Brower, let me see what I did with his card. Brower is a 261 hitter, so I think they're going to go to Brower here. And if they had to, they could go to Gino Petralli to play third base. If they really wanted to. Not very well, but he could play it. So Bob Brower, or do they use Petralli? They could use Petralli, actually, as a pinch hitter. Petralli hit 302. So they're going to pinch hit. They're going to keep Brower back and use Petralli as a pinch hitter. So Petralli will do the pinch hitting. So we had Wilkerson pinch running. And now this is going to be Petralli pinch hitting here in the 8th inning. And he'll stay in the game to play third base in the 9th. Not very well as a 4.37, but he can play third base. So Buechele is out. Petralli is in for the Rangers as Bobby Valentine tries to find the magic. Petralli, a 302 hitter with 7 home runs on the replay. On the real season. On the replay, he is hitting 263 with 1 home run in 95 at bats. So Petralli is up, 1 out, runner at first. he will turn around and bat right-handed. He only faced lefties 7% of the time, but I couldn't pass up that 302 average. 2-9, and he will ground it to short. Fielder's choice, 6-4. Petralli, the new runner at first. And here's Jerry Brown, top of the order. As Viola's trying to negotiate the inning. Brown 0 for 3. 5-12, switch hitter batting right-handed. 5-12 is a split. 1-14 is a single. That's a base hit. It's going to put runners at first and second. 2 outs. Clutch situation for Scott Fletcher. Fletcher in the clutch against lefties will lose a hit on 2-9. Everywhere else he's fine. Not going to pinch hit for Fletcher. He's a 287 hitter real world and 311 hitter on the replay. So we're not going to pinch hit for him for sure. Viola approaching fatigue, but not there yet. First and second, 2 outs. That's a 2-5 against the lefty. That's a 1-2 triple. 13's a single, 2 stars. We got a tie ball game. Scoring is Petralli, and we're tied at 2. Bobby Witt's off the hook. Big base hit for Scott Fletcher. And now Frank Viola is tired. But he's your ace, so a lot of times you will go with your ace a little bit longer than you would anybody else, and they will, in fact, do that. He's retired Sierra 3 times. He just has to avoid the dots. Sierra's a switch hitter batting right-handed. He's got to avoid 4-8, 5-6. Those are 2 big numbers he's got to avoid, 4-8 and 5-6. Sierra in the clutch against lefties loses a hit on 3-4. So Viola, this will be his last. If he doesn't get Sierra, he's out of there. 6-8, and as a fly ball right field, so he gets out of the inning. But it's a tie ball game now as the Rangers have come back to tie the game. And we go to the 9th with the score tied at 2 apiece. And now defensive changes. Don Slaught is in the game to catch, batting in the 7th position. Petralli's at 3rd, batting 9th. So we have Petralli here, 3rd base. And we have Slaught catching. Again, I'm not using the headset, so no mute button for me that I'm aware of, so I can't, unfortunately, I can't knock off the coughing there. All right, Mahorsic, he's still got some fatigue. He's a 2. He only pitched an inning and 2/3, so he's still good to go for the 9th. And he'll be facing Laudner. Tim Laudner will lead it off. What is it telling me here? Oh, hold on. Okay. So he's facing Tim Laudner. Laudner hitting 294, 10 homers, 22 driven in. He only hit 191 real world, so he's definitely overperforming. This is his first at bat since coming in for defensive purposes for Butera. Or actually, when they pinch hit for Butera, Laudner came in for defense. Mahorsic to Laudner, 211, and that's a pop out to second plus injury. But I'm not going to do the injury here because they won't have a catcher. So I'm going to eschew the injury there because they don't have anybody else to catch. So we're going to skip that injury on this occasion. And we'll go to Dan Gladden. That's a 6-6, and that is a line out to second base, 2 down. So Mahorsic hanging in there. Not sure what the Twins will do in the 9th. They might go ahead and go to the bullpen. Here's Gagne. This is his first at bat since coming in for Newman. Coming in at shortstop after they pinch hit for Newman. So let's see. He is a 369 hitter in the replay, 6 homers, 33 driven in. He had 265 real world. Definitely an overperformer. Also, the only guy I've ever had, the only guy in the replay that's gotten a cycle has been Greg Agney. 5'8", and he will pop it to first, and that'll do it. Mahorsic, a 1-2-3 inning. So that will do it for Mahorsic. He's going to go 2 1/3 out of relief. Very good relief outing for Mahorsic. He goes 2 1/3, gives up 2 hits and a walk, nothing else. Struck out 1. And he kept his team in the ball game, no question about it. We go to the bottom of the 9th, chance for the Rangers to walk it off, perhaps. And we'll see what Tom Kelly's going to do with his bullpen. They did add one arm. Dan Schatzeder, a left-hander, has joined the team. He is now active for the Twins. And, of course, you have your other guys that are more well-known. Keith Atherton, George Frazier, Jeff Reardon. So let's see who they might want to go to out of the bullpen. Most likely a right-hander, since you got right-handers coming up. So we are looking for – also have – we'll see. They had Baron Gear, but he's set to be a starter shortly, so he's not available in the bullpen because he's got to be saved to start somewhere or another. So we're looking – and we're not going to use Reardon because it's not a closing situation. So we're looking at either Atherton or Frazier out of the bullpen. And let's see who's got the most rest or who needs the most rest. Atherton, Frazier. Well, they're both used about the same. So we're going to use Keith Atherton out of the bullpen. Right-hander Keith Atherton will come on for Viola. Viola will get a no decision in 8 innings of pitching. He's going to give up. Go to the box score and get his official total so I don't mess it up. Viola, 8 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs. They were earned. 1 walk and 5 strikeouts and a no decision. So now Atherton comes on. He is a 0 hold. Laudner's arm is a 0 as well, so he's a 0 on the hold. And he'll be facing Parrish, O'Brien, and Incaviglia, the scheduled hitters here in the bottom of the 9th. Atherton, real world, was 7-5 with a 4.54 ERA. On the replay, he is 2-5 with an 8.04 ERA. He's been struggling. Does have 3 saves, though. 44 innings pitched, 47 hits, 17 walks, 34 strikeouts. So here is Larry Parrish. That's a 1-6 for Parrish, and he struck him out. That'll send up Pete O'Brien, first baseman. Incaviglia is looming on deck. 5-6 left-handed, struck him out. So Atherton coming in, firing BBs, striking out the first 2 he faces. Now he's got Incaviglia to deal with. 4-10. Ground ball, third base, that's Gaetti. He's a 1. We know he's going to get to it. Just checking the E12. And that is an 11 on an E12 for third baseman. E12, and there is a 12 there, but no 11. So good play for Gaetti. And we are going to extra innings. Good thing I heated my coffee. We're going to extra innings, and the Rangers will need a new pitcher. So who do the Rangers go to out of the bullpen? Looks like they will go to, let's see who's coming up. Puckett, Herbeck, and Gaetti. You got 2 righties coming up. So Jeff Russell will be coming into the ball game for the Rangers. He's a +1 on his hold. And Slott's a +1, so it's a +2 on his hold. He'll be facing the heart of the order, Puckett, Herbeck, and Gaetti here in the top of the 10th. So let's bring in Russell out of the bullpen. Get his numbers on the replay and real world. That'll leave the 2 lefties in the bullpen. Paul Kilgus and the Wild Thing, Mitch Williams, will be left in the bullpen. So Russell on the real season, 5-4, 4.44 ERA, and 3 saves. On the replay, he is 2-2, 5.84 ERA and no saves. 25 innings pitched, 31 hits, 11 walks, 17 strikeouts. And Kirby Puckett will lead things off for the Twins against Russell. 2-6 for Puckett, and that's a solid single. Leadoff single for Puckett. Leadoff single for Puckett. Back this up a little bit so we don't lose the card. And Puckett possibly can try to steal here. He needs a 4 or 5 or a 6. 4, 5, or 6 to get the lead. Doesn't get the lead, he'll hold. Here's Kirby. Here's Kent Herbeck. He's not one to bunt, so there won't be any bunting. Russell to Herbeck. 5-3, and that's a walk. So Russell in trouble early on. First two are on for the Twins via the single and the walk. And that takes us to Gary Gaetti. He's not one to bunt either. Russell to Gaetti. That's a 2-7, and that is a double 1 to an 11. 12 to 20 is a single. Single 2 stars. The Twins take the lead. So Jeff Russell, rough outing. And they were even still in trouble. Twins get one, but they're looking for more. Jeff Russell has not retired a batter yet. Here's Roy Smalley. Infield's playing. They're playing in. They got it. They can't afford to give up any more runs. They got to play in and cut the runoff. 5-7. Switch hitter batting left. That's a ground ball shortstop. X. Fletcher's a 3E26. 3E26 for Fletcher. 3 and a 16. That's a pretty good number to get. 3 and a 16 is a G1. But that's a 16 there, so that could be problematic. 26 and a 16 for a shortstop. Fortunately, 12, 17, and 18 are errors for him, not 16. So it's a G1. And on a G1 with runners on the corners and the infield in, it's not going to be a double play with the run scoring. It's going to be a play on the batter, and runner on first goes to second. So holding the third is Herbeck. Gaetti will take second, and they will throw Smalley out 6-3. Now second and third, one out, infield still in, but no run came across the plate. They were not in a position to trade runs for outs. Now you have Tom Brunansky. First base is open, but you don't really want to walk the bases loaded. Then you really put the pressure on Russell. So they're going to play it still with the infield in and one out. Russell could really use a strikeout about now. 1-6, but he won't get that. 1-9 is a single. That's a 15. It's a liner to short, so that's almost as good as a strikeout. Pretty much is, because nobody moves up. So now 2 outs, runners at second and third. And Jeff Reardon is ready in the Twins bullpen for the bottom of the 10th. So we'll cap Atherton. He pitches a perfect 9th inning. But when you got a closer like Reardon, you're going to bring him in with the lead. So here's Lombard Dozy. Clutch situation, second, third, 2 outs, infield back to normal. 110, and that is a split. 1-4 is a single. That's a 19. He lines it to short. And so Russell, despite his big problems, gets by allowing just the 1 run. So we go to the bottom of the 10th. Last chance for the Rangers to send it to an 11th inning. They got to get a run to do it. And they got to do it off their closer for the Twins, Jeff Reardon. So let's get the numbers on Reardon. So for Jeff Reardon, where are you? There you are. Reardon on the real season was 8-8 with a 4.48 ERA and 31 saves. On the replay, to this point, he is 4-2 with a 3.69 ERA and 11 saves, 32 innings pitched, 32 hits, 10 walks, 30 strikeouts. Scheduled up, slot, McDowell and Petrali. They are your scheduled hitters. They may pinch hit for slot with Darryl Porter. I think they will. I'm going to bring in Darryl Porter to pinch hit for slot. And if it goes to the 11th inning, he can stay in the game to catch. But Darryl Porter, a better hitter than Slot is. So Porter will pinch hit here in the 10th. We'll get the numbers off Porter. And that leaves Bob Brower as the only bench player remaining for Texas. So Darryl Porter, 238 average, 7 home runs. That's in the real season. On the replay, he's killing it. It's hitting 346, 7 home runs, 11 driven in. So he's been a terror on the replay. You'll see if he continue that against Jeff Reardon. 410, fly ball center field X. That's Puckett. He's a 1. So E6 is the only question mark. And on an E6 in center field, the only errors are 3, 4, 15, and 18. And we get a 15. Wouldn't you know it? Kirby Puckett of all people. Kirby Puckett of all people is going to have a 2-base error. E6. There it is right there. 15. E6 and a 15. That's a 2-base error on Puckett. You don't see that very often, but you saw it right there. Kirby Puckett, a 2-base error. And Reardon is not too happy about it, I can tell you. Definitely not too happy about it. So here's McDowell. As Reardon tries to compose himself after the bad defensive play by Puckett. 5-7 left-handed. Ground ball second base X. He's going to trust Lombardozzi. 2E18. 2 and a 4 should still be okay, I would think. 2 and a 4 is a G3 pound. They were not holding Porter on, so obviously the pound's not in play, but that is a rare play with a 5. So we have a G, what is it called? A G3? It's a G3 rare play. Batter lines a shot that hits, not that stupid, not so rare play mess anymore. Basically, it's a 4-3 ground out with the runner advancing. Shorthand. Give it the shorthand version. And here's Petrali, switch hitter. Infield's going to have to come in, obviously. Tying run at third base with 1 out. This is where Reardon can really use a strikeout right about now. 5-6, switch hitter batting left, and he gets the strikeout right on cue, right what he needed. Strikeout for Reardon. So now it's down to Jerry Brown, last hope for the Rangers to extend this ball game. Jerry Brown 1 for 4 on the day. Tyne runs at third base with 2 outs, an obvious clutch situation. In the clutch, Jerry Brown will lose a hit on 3-2, and that's it. 3-2. Reardon to Brown. 2-2, and that is a ground ball to third, and that's going to do it. Ball game is over. Gaetti makes the play. So Reardon pitches around the 2-base error by Kirby Puckett and holds on for the victory for the Twins. Much-needed victory. They couldn't afford to lose this game. Goes 1 inning with a strikeout, nothing else. So the winning pitcher is actually going to be Atherton, and the loser is going to be Russell. Russell went 1 inning, gave up 2 hits and a walk, didn't strike anybody out, and the 1 run. So we'll go to the box score and get the totals and wrap up the week in 1987. Box score and get the totals. For the Twins, 3 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. For the Rangers, 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. Winning pitcher Keith Atherton, he is now 3-5 on the replay. Losing pitcher Jeff Russell, he is now 2-3. They credit Mahorsic with a blown save. I don't worry about that. And the 12th save for Jeff Reardon. So that is the ball game. Big win for the Twins. They improved to 35-37. They couldn't afford to drop a game to Oakland. So as we look at the AL West stats right now, Minnesota is in 3rd place alone, depending on what Kansas City does against Seattle. But right now they're 8.5 back of Oakland. They are 35-37. So they are 7 games worse than what they were in real world on the replay. They're -7 in the category, where the Oakland A's are +5. +5. So there's your difference right there. Really, at this point, the Twins were in 1st place, but they're underperforming by 7 games. So that's the way that goes. So look at the schedule for the rest of the weekend coming up. Tomorrow, of course, Fall Classic Baseball. NBC Game of the Week, 1979, Boston Red Sox against the New York Yankees from Yankee Stadium. Sunday will be the Basic Sunday in 1962 Strat-O-Matic Basic Game. And then either recorded or live stream. I haven't figured out which one I want to do yet. It's going to be the 3rd and final rounds of the Pebble Beach Pro-Am in history golf. Right back to the 27th day and pick it up at the next game in that schedule. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you have a fine weekend coming up. In case I don't get a chance to run into you guys until Monday. If you're not around for the weekend or not interested in what I'm doing over the weekend, then I will catch you all for Strat-O-Matic on Monday morning. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play. And I'll see you all down the road.